So you can't be out in this with exposed skin for more than 10-15 minutes before you run the risk of frostbite, hypothermia. This is not cold like yesterday's cold. It was cold yesterday, but not as cold as today. And this is cold we haven't felt in a couple of years now. So you really do need to take this seriously. Layer up if you're going to be outside for any length of time. If you have to work outside, if you have to walk to the bus stop, anything like that, make sure you've got maybe more layers than you think you need, because you have to really dress for the wind chill. Let's start off with the temperatures. Right now we're seeing temperatures across the region. Many spots are in the single digits. We're hovering at about 11 in Philadelphia right now. I think we may drop another degree or two before the sun comes up. It's 11 in the city. It's 7 in Millville, but up toward Allentown, temperatures are in the 4-degree range. It's sub-zero in Mount Pocono, 7 in Pottstown, 5 in Coatesville. But here's what you need to dress for. Let's go ahead and take our temperatures down, and we'll put our wind chills up. And this is what your body is going to really respond to. Negative temperatures here, sub-zero. Feels like 2 below in Pottstown. Feels like 4 below in Coatesville. Feels like 9 below in Allentown. And here in Philadelphia, we are hovering right around 0. Earlier this morning, we had a wind chill of 1 below. So in the city, we tend to hang on to warmth just a little bit longer. That tends to be the warmest spot on our map, but it's still, again, bitterly and dangerously cold. And make sure you check on anyone you know that may need help staying warm. And also make sure they have if they're using space heaters, that they have them properly ventilated. We always see tragedies with carbon monoxide poisoning in these cold snaps if those space heaters are not properly ventilated and set up correctly. So dangerous cold through Thursday, single-digit lows, highs in the teens, morning wind chills like right now, below 0. And we're not going to go back above freezing until Thursday afternoon. So as you get dressed for the day, every layer you got, the scarf, the gloves, the hat, again, the full face gear, you don't want anything showing if you can. 19 degrees are high today, feeling more like 10. Let's send it over to Kim for a check on your forecast, for a check on your traffic, I should say. Good morning, Kim. Good morning. At night and when it's dark out, if it's salt or if it's just ice out there on the ground. So be careful where you are stepping. Some of the side streets in the city still just covered over with a sheet of ice. So take it slow. Leave yourself plenty of extra time to get to where you need to go today. Let's open the walls of our next weather sphere. It's a pretty quiet, pretty clear morning outside right now. We are going to see clouds increase as the day goes on, but it's the cold really making headlines, not only here in the Northeast, but all across the nation. We have a full-on snowstorm underway across portions of the Deep South, areas that don't often get snow, seeing accumulating snow and possibly as much as 6 inches of snow. But let's start off with the cold and just looking at where this is coming from. The polar vortex here, all that cold air that's usually locked up in the polar regions up toward the North Pole in the Arctic, all of that has been moving southward, and you can see it's invading all the way down into Mexico, even certainly Florida, and this will continue at least today, tomorrow, and into Thursday. Finally, by the end of the week, we'll start to see some of that cold begin to retreat. But as far as what's happening today, again, we've got snow to the south. That system will bring us a few clouds here at home, but it's not going to bring us any precipitation, which is good news, at least unless you're a snow lover, and we're hoping that some of that would come north. But as far as the cold is concerned, you can see how all of that cold air I just showed you coming in from Canada has permeated even down into Florida, where it's 40 in Jacksonville. It's just 23 in Atlanta right now, 33 in New Orleans, and closer to home, temperatures in the single digits, just 11 right now in Philadelphia. Pittsburgh sitting at 0. So we are under a cold weather advisory. That used to be called a wind chill advisory. It just got renamed last year. So it's a new product, but cold weather advisory means wind chills could reach as low as 10 below 0. That goes until noon tomorrow. In the Poconos, it's the next level. It's an extreme cold warning, which is an indication that wind chills could reach -20 or colder, and that goes also until noon tomorrow. So I want to show you our satellite and radar composite. Right now we're not seeing much here at home. You can start to see some clouds lifting in, and this is part of that storm, which is bringing snow, accumulating snow around New Orleans this morning, back to Houston as well, into Mississippi and Alabama, and that will cut across the Florida Panhandle. We just see kind of the northern edge of this with the clouds coming in, but look at that snow. That is solid snow in areas that don't get it all that often, and that will then cut across the Carolinas. Could brush maybe Delaware or Maryland. I don't think we see much. If it happened, it would be overnight tonight. And then we just get a reinforcing shot of cold air. But we're talking, I mean, this is serious snow around New Orleans, up to 6 inches possible. Looking at 3-4 inches here across the Florida Panhandle, southern Georgia, and even South Carolina before that system heads out to sea. And again, just reinforces the cold for us. So it does cloud up today with that system off to the south. Our high is just 19 degrees. Very cold, 19, feeling more like 10. at best. So we start the morning with those sub-zero chills. That's what it feels like right now. Tomorrow morning, even colder. It'll feel like 4 below at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. With less wind tomorrow afternoon may not feel quite as bad. And then we start the thawing process. Let's take a look at your next 7 days here. Again, that next weather alert will go through Thursday morning. We're going to drop it Thursday afternoon as we finally at least hit freezing. And then the thaw continues by Sunday for the Eagles. Big difference a week makes. From the Snow Bowl last weekend to 44 with some sunshine, actually above average by this Sunday's game. Kim, I'll send it over to you.
Kate, thanks.